So I am not a trader basically. Mixing both investments and some parts of options to maximize my returns. So I'm not working, but I take care of my investments. You can call me as my own fund manager. Like I think I still remember that I bought Unitech for 220 rupees, which eventually went to zero. My intention is not to do options trading.
Okay.
My intention is to create a long-term wealth using equities. In the meanwhile, I want to hedge my folio. You can able to buy an insurance for your stocks.
Okay.
And I try to generate a rental income on my long-term folios. Where do I make money? I don't make money by buying stocks or selling stocks. Within a shorter time frame, the stock move very violently and the option prices move very crazily. Or I exit once my rental income is in my pocket. So I don't pay margin from my pocket. This M2M settlement daily is only for futures and it is not for option. Making money should be a very boring process.
नमस्ते दोस्तों, मैं विजय ठक्कर और आप लोगों का सबका स्वागत है हमारी स्पेशल सीरीज में जिसका नाम है मास्टर्स इन वन। अब ये सीरीज मैं किस लिए बना रहा हूँ ये आप लोगों को पता ही है, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मार्केट में ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो अपनी अपनी ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग या फिर इंट्राडे ट्रेडिंग या इक्विटी ट्रेडिंग या इन्वेस्टमेंट में मास्टर है। तो मैं ऐसा सोचता हूँ कि उसका नॉलेज आप लोगों के साथ शेयर कर सकूँ, वही मेरा फंडा है ये सीरीज बनाने का। और आज के एपिसोड में हमारे साथ जो जुड़े हैं उनका नाम है मिस्टर शरथ, एंड ये जहाँ तक मुझे पता है ये एक ऑप्शन ट्रेडर है। बट ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग में भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती है, ऑप्शन बाइंग, ऑप्शन सेलिंग के अंदर भी बहुत सारी स्ट्रैटेजी होती है। तो आज हम लोग सीखेंगे शरथ जी के साथ कि वो कौन सी स्ट्रैटेजी फॉलो करते हैं और उनका ट्रेडिंग स्टाइल क्या है। तो वेलकम शरथ जी। सो शरथ जी, आप मुझे ये बताइए कि आप क्या पहले से मार्केट में थे? आप यू आर ट्रेडिंग फ्रॉम स्टार्टिंग ओनली?
So I am not a trader basically actually. So
Okay.
I am an investor. So I was an investor and I keep continuing my investment journey. So I wanted to learn the nuances in the market so that I can increase my alpha or I can reduce my drawdowns. So when I was looking into all these things, so I got in touch with Sophia Sundar. I learned some techniques from him so that I am mixing both investments and some parts of options to maximize my returns and to minimize my losses on the longer run. So you can call me an investor and a part-time trader, or an investor and
short-term trader.
Short-term, kind of, yes.
Okay. But you do full-time trading only? You are not working on anywhere?
So I'm not working, but I take care of my investments. You can call me as my own fund manager. I am a fund manager for myself.
Okay. So, but you started from how many years, love? You started like?
So I can give you an introduction about myself.
Yeah,
so,
I just want to understand about your journey.
So I'm not a trader since the beginning actually. So I'm a computer science graduate. So I finished my engineering in 2004.
Okay.
So I joined work in IT industry in the year 2004. So I worked in India for 6 years. So I worked for companies like Mofa, Infosys, Renault, Nissan. Then I went to Australia. So I had a stint around 8-9 years in Australia. So I was doing my own IT consulting there. So in this journey, I started investments whenever I can.
So when you bought your first share, sir?
In the year 2004-2005, so I was applying for IPOs.
Okay, do you remember which was that stock?
I applied for a lot of IPOs like DLF, Tech Mahindra, those kind of shares.
Okay.
So whenever you buy, you apply in IPOs, it's a jackpot. Either it's a 100% success, and I had my failures as well. So I bought stocks like I applied in Reliance Power.
Okay.
So I burned my fingers there. So those are the learning lessons for me to be more careful before I started venturing full time actually. So I started investing in IPOs.
Okay.
So I made a lot of money in a stock called Satyam.
Okay.
Mahindra Satyam those days.
Okay.
So there is a scam broke out, but I was into IT industry and I was able to relate like there's nothing wrong in the business, but there was some accounting fraud going on.
Okay.
So I started buying Satyam shares when it was around 20 rupees.
Okay.
So the maximum that I can lose is 20 rupees. So I started buying at that point in time. Then Mahindra Satyam got taken over by Tech Mahindra at that point in time. So there was a share swap ratio of 1:8 if I remember. So for every couple of shares, they gave one equivalent Tech Mahindra share.
Okay.
So I got some profits there. If I can relate, that was the major money-making incident for me in stock markets.
Okay.
From there, 800, I think it went until 2,500, 3,000 before it got split.
Okay. So you are talking about Tech Mahindra now.
Tech Mahindra, yes,
Okay.
the current Tech Mahindra.
Okay. So I think you are the only one person who made good money in Satyam.
There are a lot of people who made money there, but yes, so like I started after the fall.
Okay.
So I was not participating before the fall actually.
Okay.
So that was one of the reasons. So one of my friend got me into stock market actually. So he joined as a stockbroker.
In which year?
2004, 2005.
2004.
So one of my classmates joined Kotak Securities.
Okay.
So I joined software and he joined Kotak Securities.
Okay.
And he used to pester me to open a demat account. So I would never know like what a demat account is and stuff like that. He wanted to fulfill his business. So he was forcing me. He used to come to my office and then ask me to open a demat account.
So that time it was very frustrating for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But now you can thank him.
So I opened my first demat account with Kotak Securities long back in 2005.
Okay.
So then he used to advise me of buying stocks. So he advised me to buy Unitech, Suslon.
Oh.
So he like I think I still remember that I bought Unitech for 220 rupees, which eventually went to zero. And likewise a lot of stocks. So okay, so they all went to zero actually. But those are all the learning lessons. So I will not regret losing money then. Okay, I paid money to the stock market to learn the nuances so that I am able to reap some of the benefits now. So if not then I would be paying money to the markets now.
So that's why शरद जी हम लोग ये सीरीज को चला रहे हैं कि मार्केट में बहुत सारे लोग पैसा इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं बट उन लोगों को सही नॉलेज नहीं होता है. तो एटलीस्ट हम जिन्होंने अपने फिंगर बर्न किए हैं उनका नॉलेज की बातें करके लोगों के साथ हम लोग एक चीज़ बता सकते हैं कि क्या अच्छा है, क्या बुरा है, क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. थैंक यू सर. सो इट मीन्स दैट यू आर अ लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर सिंस 2004-2005. ओके. सो आपको ऐसा क्या अट्रैक्ट किया जो आपने ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग स्टार्ट कर दी एंड आपने ये कब से किया स्टार्ट?
सो माई इंटेंशन इज नॉट टू डू ऑप्शंस ट्रेडिंग.
ओके.
माई इंटेंशन इज टू create a long-term wealth using equities. In the meanwhile, I want to hedge my folio.
Okay.
And I was looking for multiple options.
Okay.
One of the options is options actually. So I never knew that you can able to buy an insurance for your stocks. Even a lot of people never know that they can buy insurance for their stocks.
Right.
So after I got in touch with Mr. P.R. Sundar, he said that like you can even hedge your folio. Okay. That was new to me.
In which year?
This is in 2018. So
Okay.
I was in Australia for around 8-9 years.
Okay.
So after I came here, I got in touch with Mr. P.R. Sundar. Then I started learning the nuances of stock market.
Okay.
So there are multiple people in the stock market. Stock market is not about just trading or investing.
Correct.
So there are people who invest through mutual funds. There are people who invest through NPS. So there are a lot of products in the market.
Yes.
So there are speculators, there are arbitrators, there are hedgers. So there are multiple peoples in the market.
Right.
So that gives the buoyancy in the market, right? So only if there's a buyer or seller, you will not be have such a buoyant industry actually.
Okay.
So there are multiple people in the industry. So where do you exactly fit in actually? So I have this hat actually. I am an investor. I want to hedge my stocks.
Okay.
So one way that he taught me is you can hedge your stocks via options. So
Okay.
then I started hedging my stocks using options.
Okay.
So I started building my assets in equities for the longer term.
Okay.
So I keep saving money. So for me, I haven't invested in real estate. I haven't invested in multiple other assets.
Okay.
So I think equity is one asset class which can give far better returns than other asset classes is my personal belief.
Right.
So a lot of other people might be having different viewpoints.
Obviously, yes. Lot of people understand that FD is the better option.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So basically, आप ये बोलना चाहते हो कि आप ऑप्शंस को सिर्फ एज ए इंश्योरेंस लेना चाहते
Exactly, yeah.
हो. ओके, सो आप उससे कोई भी प्रॉफिट करने की सोचते नहीं हो, जस्ट टू यू आर टेकिंग जस्ट एज एन इंश्योरेंस.
Yes.
ओके, सो कितना साल हो गया अभी आपको ये करते हुए?
So I'm doing this for the past 4-5 years now. So after I returned from Australia, I like this is my full-time job now. So I take care of my investments.
Okay.
I take care of my family's investments.
Right.
So for example, for my family, I keep most of my money in debt because they are not in a position to take risks in equity actually.
Okay.
So, but I am trying to make sure that they have some exposure into stocks as well. So whatever returns that I get out of debt, I am moving that money into equity. So I don't buy direct stocks for my family.
So आपने अभी बोला कि आप कुछ रिटर्न निकाल रहे हो, तो कैसे? आपने तो मुझे बोला कि you are only hedging via option. So how you are generating returns?
So for example, I invest my money mostly into large cap stocks.
Right. Okay.
So I keep all my savings into equity. So over the past 10-15 years, I now have a sizable chunk of my money into stocks. I'll take a couple of examples. Okay, they are not buying or selling recommendations. This is my own folio. I'm just sharing what I am trying to do or what I am currently
Obviously,
doing.
100%. Right.
So for example, I have a holding in Reliance.
Okay.
So I started buying it from the price of around 1,000 rupees.
Okay. And you are buying for your investment, long-term investment
long-term
purpose.
Investments, yes. So I keep buying. So I never sell my holdings.
Okay, can I ask you one question, Sarath? On what basis you buy stocks for long term?
So they should be market leader in their own right.
Okay.
There should be into multiple businesses, and there should be considerable cash flows. It should be at a reasonable valuations.
Okay.
So I don't buy stocks which are at 50, 60 PE or 100 PE.
Okay.
So these are some of the things that I keep learning.
Okay,
like,
so you just take care of the basic thing and you go with the large cap only.
Yeah, mostly large caps. Okay, so I buy small caps but with very little allocation. It might be 0.01% or 0.001%. So I don't put most of my money into small caps because I'm not that risk averse to put my money into small caps.
इतना तो मुझे समझ में आ गया है कि आप एक बहुत ही सेफ टाइप के ट्रेडर हो. You take very safe things.
Safe thing. So after year after year, I now have a considerable chunk of stocks.
Okay.
So now what I do is I try to sell a call option against my stock holding.
Okay.
And I try to generate a rental income on my long term folios.
Okay, तो आप ये बोलना चाहते हो कि आपने कुछ स्टॉक्स अच्छे खासे अपने पोर्टफोलियो में जमा कर लिए हैं और आप उस स्टॉक से रेंटल इनकम निकालते
Exactly.
हो यूजिंग ऑप्शंस.
Yes.
तो ये पॉसिबल है?
Yes, it is possible.
बिकॉज मैं ऑप्शंस के बारे में ज्यादा नहीं जानता, तो ये मेरे लिए बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग होगा अगर आप बता सको तो.
Fine, sir. Vijay, if you look into like Indian markets, okay, we mostly follow US markets.
Okay.
So futures and options was introduced in India very lately, then it was introduced in US.
Okay.
Options market was introduced in India very lately, then US. So this instrument was brought into India after careful consideration to safeguard many people's interest actually. Okay. Hedging was brought into a purpose to make sure that you are hedging your produce. For example, there are farmers. Farmers produce rice.
Right.
They want to sell it in the market. Okay. So they want to hedge it. What if tomorrow the prices go down? So there is a person who is willing to take the risk and there is a person who is willing to pay the premium for that.
Okay.
Okay. So when people can do it for their produce, so why can't we do it for our own stock holding was my thought process actually.
Yeah, because I am also an equity trader. I am not a long term investor. मैं मोमेंटम ट्रेड्स करता हूँ, लॉन्ग टर्म ब्रेकआउट्स में ट्रेड करता हूँ. आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड, आई कैन रिलेट विथ योर कंसर्न. कभी भी हम लोग स्टॉक खरीदते हैं 100 रुपीज पे, फिर वो 150 गया, 120 गया, वी विल गेट द प्रॉफिट. बट इशू सिर्फ इतना है एक इक्विटी ट्रेडर के साथ, जब वो स्टॉक नीचे जाता है ना, वो उसका फायदा नहीं उठा सकता है, इनफैक्ट उसको लॉस ही होता है. सो आप बताइए मुझे हम लोग कैसे इसको प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. एंड बहुत ज़्यादा मेरे को ये अच्छा लग रहा है कि आपने बोला आप प्रोटेक्ट भी कर सकते हो एज वेल एज वी कैन जनरेट रेंटिंग इनकम ऑल्सो. So that is very
Fine.
good.
So, the strategy that I'm going to explain is called as a covered call.
Okay.
In India, most of the mutual funds have now started doing covered calls.
Okay.
For example, if you take PPFAs, 3 years back, they have sent an email to all their mutual fund holders stating that they are going to start doing covered calls in their folios. If some of the investors are not interested, they can take their money out and there will not be exit load is what mutual funds said. Even now, whatever was followed in US is now being slowly taken care by mutual funds and they are using it for their own purpose. It's not only PPFAs, I think even Tata Mutual Fund have started doing covered calls because I hold these two mutual funds and I have gotten emails from them at some point in time. So this indicated more interest to me. So I started looking into this as an vehicle where I can also travel towards this journey.
Correct.
So I do something called as incremental covered calls. For example, if I am having 10 lots of Reliance, for example, I will not be doing covered calls for all my 10 lots.
Okay.
So I might start initiating covered calls for 2 lots.
Okay.
I'll see how the price goes on. Then I will do a covered call for the next 2 lots and I will see how it is going. And if everything is within my control, then I will start initiating covered calls for the next 2 lots.
Okay, but in short आप ये बोलना चाहते हो कि if you are holding 100 Reliance, तो आप 100 Reliance को secure करने के लिए एक साथ नहीं देखते हो. Slowly, steadily, you are doing this.
Yeah, fine. So, for example, now this is the chart of Reliance now.
Right.
For many years, it was hovering around this 800, 900 rupees.
Right.
And I think in 2018, the up move started.
2017, right?
Yeah, 2017, 2018, the up move started. So I was back to India in the year 2018 and I started buying Reliance at the price range of around 1000 rupees.
Okay.
1100 was my buying price. And I started accumulating it. I even keep buying Reliance even now.
Okay.
For example, if I am holding 10 lots of Reliance, I do covered call for 2 lots.
You do this every month?
Yes.
Okay.
So for example, you asked me, right, where do I make money? I don't make money by buying stocks or selling stocks. So this is for my wealth actually.
Okay.
So I don't want to make money. I want to build wealth with equities is my thought process.
So you make money with options?
Yes. So that is for my regular cash flows.
Okay.
So I need to pay my bills, right? So I have another thesis as well. So I want to live a comfortable life with dividend income.
Okay.
So these are my long-term holdings. So I have value stocks. So I have growth stocks. And I might have 1 or 2 momentum stocks as well.
Okay.
So by learnings of you and other people in the market, now I am slowly looking into momentum stocks as well.
Okay.
But I am, as I previously told, my exposure to momentum stocks is around 0.1 or 0.001%. But I am slowly learning the nuances there as well. So what I do, I am now doing covered calls for around 10 stocks. 10 stocks now, or around 10 stocks now.
Okay.
For my holding. So within 5 weeks of expiry.
Mm-hmm.
For example, for February expiry, I started selling calls around 20th of January.
And last week of January.
Yeah, last but 1 week of January.
Okay.
And what I do is, I will run this until the next 20th. I come out of February's position on the 20th of February, around those dates, and then I will move my positions to
Is there
March.
any reason to do this?
Fine. Whenever we are very closer to the expiry, exchanges have now introduced new margin rules.
Yes, margin has been increased.
Yeah, margin has been increased in the last week.
Right.
And there is something called as this gamma effect. So I don't want to get strangled into this.
What is gamma effect?
Within a shorter time frame, the stock move very violently and the option prices move very crazily.
Okay, understood. Right.
Okay, so I don't want to go into those things.
Right.
Okay,
so
because
again,
this is a long-term holding.
Here you are going safe.
Yes.
Right.
So like I have a time frame around 4 to 5 weeks. So I initiate a call around 18th or 19th or 20th of the month. Then I'll make sure that whether I am making money or not. Sometimes what happens, you will be getting the premiums that you anticipate within 1 week or even 2 weeks. Then I will close my position. I will not do anything else.
Okay, just show me now how we can do this.
Sure. For example, so whenever you talk about options, option selling, everybody thinks that this is one of the safest strategy that people make money in stock market.
Option selling.
Covered calls.
Okay, covered call.
Everybody knows about what covered calls are. Okay, but there is an equivalent product in US. When you go to that product, okay, US has this covered call ETFs.
Okay.
They are not even beaten their benchmarks.
Okay.
So there is this S&P ETF, there is this Nasdaq ETF, there is this Russell 2000 ETF, and US has a lot of financial products. They have this covered call ETFs as well.
Okay.
So they have this index, and they used to sell call for their index as well. Their covered call ETFs have not even beaten the benchmarks. When people say that covered calls are easier, then they should have made more money there.
Right.
But they're not doing there.
Correct.
Here, like as I previously told that I am my own fund manager. Okay, so I tweak whatever favors me. Whenever I see some danger coming in, I might cover all my positions. For example, I don't have positions during an event.
Okay.
Event, something makes, something breaks. We never know.
So event means budget or
budget, RBI meetings. Okay. Elections. So I might reduce most of my
You close
positions.
your position during Fed meetings also?
It depends actually. For example, now I am not selling any covered calls for my IT stocks. Because IT stocks have fallen around 30-40% in the past 1 year.
Right.
Okay. If I start selling call options, even one good news, the stocks might fly and I might be losing my alpha there.
Right.
So I have stopped doing covered calls for my IT stocks now.
Okay.
Because they are on a downturn. So once they are at a reasonable value or a reasonable from their recent benchmarks, then I might start selling call options for my stocks. So people think that doing covered calls is the easiest thing. So I am just showing you the past years Reliance, how it has been going up and down.
Okay.
So if you just sell a call option, you might be making losses here.
Right.
If you sell a call option, you will again make losses here.
Right.
If you have sold a call option here, again you would have made losses here.
Right.
If you have again sold a call option, you would have made losses here.
Right.
With such a difficult environment, so what we do is we will make sure that we have our own margin of safety and then sell call options. So what I will be taking into consideration is I might be looking at 1% premium value every month.
Okay.
For example, now if you take Reliance value as 2,500 rupees, I might be looking at around 20 to 25 rupees premium for my Reliance stock to sell call options.
To sell any call option?
It depends. For example, in a low beta stock, you might not be getting 1% premium.
Okay.
So I do this for ITC as well.
Okay.
So ITC will not be giving you any premiums at all because ITC seldom moves. But now that's a different case. If you see past 1 year, ITC is the best performer.
Yeah, obviously, yes.
Okay, so on a normal day, if you take any normal day scenarios, stocks like ITC, the premiums will be very less.
So basically, मैं क्या समझ रहा हूँ कि आप अपने पोर्टफोलियो को कॉल को सेल करके हेज करते हो और वहाँ से एक रेंटल इनकम जनरेट करने की कोशिश करते हो. So in this strategy, you sell only call against to your portfolio?
Yes, mostly I sell call options.
Okay.
But when I feel that a stock has corrected to a certain level, and when I feel that this is a better buying opportunity, I might be doing the opposite of covered calls. There's something called as cash secured puts.
Okay.
For example, now I have sold Reliance 2,300 put options. 2,400 put options.
Okay.
So I am now thinking that if that comes into this range, I am ready to buy Reliance at 2,300 or 2,400 rupees.
Okay. So you select strike price not on the basis of कि कहाँ पे stock trade कर रहा है. You select strike price on the basis of कि वो अपने stock price से 1% का premium देना चाहिए.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So Okay, show me something now, Sharath, so we can relate.
So for
to that
example, so this is the entry and exit rule that I follow.
thing. Okay.
Okay, so I'll be looking at around 1%, 0.8 to 1% premium is what I look into. So it should be, the stock should always be in the top 10 to 15 in their own horizon. Actually, I will be doing this only for large cap stocks.
Right.
I will not be doing it for mid cap, small cap or penny cap stocks.
Okay.
Because it might completely ruin your chances of making money there. Okay. So I enter 5 weeks before expiry, as I previously told. Okay. So I keep shifting based on market conditions, or I exit once my rental income is in my pocket. So I'll not be waiting until the last date.
So you keep any target?
For example, for Reliance, for one lot, my calculation is around 10 to 15,000 per month.
Okay. So, Sharath, to do this, we need margin, right?
Yes.
So, how we can manage that thing?
So I don't pay margin from my pocket. So what I do is I try to efficiently use my already existing capital.
Okay.
So whatever stocks that I have, I pledge it with my broker.
Okay.
And whatever value that they give me, for that I sell call options. I am not putting in my extra cash to sell this call options.
For daily M2M, what you do? Because sometimes we get negative M2M also.
Yeah, for example, this M2M settlement daily is only for futures and it is not for options.
Okay.
So only when I cover my position, I need to settle the opposite
Okay,
party.
so for example, you covered your call option in loss, then you have to give money to the broker. Otherwise, you don't have to give.
No need
if
to
it
give.
is notional loss, we don't have to give anything.
No, there is no need for us to settle it daily.
Okay.
So for example, this month I have sold 2,460 call option in Reliance. I sold it for around 20 rupees.
Right.
If market is below 2460, I'll be pocketing this 20 rupees.
Correct.
For example, you might ask me what happens if Reliance goes to 3,000 rupees.
Actually, it can go.
Yeah. So as I previously told, I am not selling call options for all my quantity of Reliance.
Okay, yes, you told this.
Okay. For 10 lots of Reliance, I have sold only one lot call option. If it comes to 2460, I will be sitting in huge profit in all my other 9 lots, and I might be selling a higher call for the next 2 lots. So that is the reason I told you that I do incremental covered calls.
Okay.
I don't do covered calls for all my positions.
Right. When Reliance will come up to 2460, you will get loss in your call option which you have sold one lot. But on your holding, you will get the profit.
Profits, yes.
And then you will sell more upside call options. Okay, got it.
And this is not going to happen within a couple of days.
Right.
We have something called as time decay.
Correct.
So time decay is one of the best friends for option sellers.
Okay.
So when this happens during the next 10 to 15 days, I'll be able to make most of my money there. Or whenever my option becomes in the money, I'll come out of it.
And what you do then?
I'll be selling the next month's call option at a higher premium. For example, if this month 2460 I have sold it at 20 rupees, if market is at 2460, the next month's 25 or 26 call options will be at a higher premium.
Okay.
So I'll be selling that actually.
So as far as ऐसा तो लग रहा है कि ये strategy अच्छी है, safe है, हम लोग कर सकते हैं. इसमें risk क्या है? What is the risk in this strategy?
For example, people might ask that what happens if tomorrow Reliance goes to 0? So I'll be just getting only 20 rupees, but I'll be losing all my
equity money
there.
Okay.
So my thought process is, when I keep doing this for month on month for a period of 4 to 5 years, okay, I'll be reducing my cost of capital that I put in to buy the stock. So for example, my average price is around 1,300 rupees.
Correct.
And I have already got around 1,100 rupees in the past 4 years.
So if you will collect more 200 point,
yes, this asset is free.
आपका investment तो free हो जाएगा.
Free, yes.
So you sponsored your investment by selling your call options.
Exactly.
That is good, Sharath ji. So Sharath ji, अगर हम लोग ने समझो 2460 का कॉल बेचा, you told me that loss होगा और हमें इक्विटी में प्रॉफिट होगा. बट अगर और ऐसे ज्यादा ऊपर गया तो फिर हम लोग क्या करेंगे वो कंडीशन में? इफ इट विल गो फास्ट अप लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल वन डे इट विल गो 10%, सेकंड डे इट विल गो 10%.
Okay. Most of the large cap stocks might not go circuit to circuit all the times, because if you take, for example, Reliance is sitting at around 13 lakh crores market cap. A 10% upper move is around, people need to move the market by around 1.25 lakh crores to make it 10% upper.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So on ideal market conditions,
it will not happen.
This might not be possible is what I think. But if it goes higher, I am more than happy, because I'll be losing
Profit.
only 1/10 of my folio. The remaining 9/10 I'll be happy, right? So my thought process is, if my stocks gives me 10 to 12% year on year, I'll be happy.
Okay.
And if I make around 9 to 10% in my covered calls, I'll be doubly happy.
Okay.
So what more do you want if you are getting 20% returns per annum on your longer term holdings?
दैट इज गुड शरद जी. तो ये स्ट्रैटेजी मुझे बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग लगी है. इन्होंने बहुत ही एक अच्छा पॉइंट बोला कि वो अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट से रेंटल इनकम जनरेट करते हैं. वो एक बहुत अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट है. और जैसे शरद जी ने बोला कि थोड़े टाइम में उनका रिलायंस का जो स्टॉक है वो फ्री हो जाएगा उनके पोर्टफोलियो में. तो थैंक यू शरद जी फॉर शेयरिंग दिस स्ट्रैटेजी. आई जस्ट वॉन्ट टू नो वन थिंग कि किसको ये स्ट्रैटेजी फॉलो नहीं करना चाहिए.
Make sure that, because every individual is different, every individual's risk appetite is different. For example, you follow momentum stocks. I'm trying to learn that. So
Okay.
without learning, if I try to do that, I might burn my fingers.
Okay.
Because you know where you enter, you know where you exit.
Right.
Okay, most of the people where they lose money is they just follow the herd, or they just follow some stock tips. They just follow some random people in social media and they burn their fingers, or they follow some Telegram channel tips. Okay, they never know what they're actually doing. Okay, if you think this as a business, if you think this as a long-term wealth-making thing, then you will be very serious.
But it's boring, right?
Yeah, that's where you make a lot of money, right?
Okay.
So my Guruji says that making money should be a very boring process.
Right.
Okay,
I
if you
also-
want excitement, you should go to casinos. So you
Correct.
should not be doing these things.
बट शरद जी ये उनको भी फॉलो नहीं करना चाहिए ना जिनके पास स्टॉक ही नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ दे आर नॉट होल्डिंग एनीथिंग देन दे शुड नॉट डू इट.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't start doing options the first day itself. So for 10 to 15 years, I was accumulating my stocks in a very small manner. So whenever I make my salaries, okay, I used to buy 5 stocks, 10 stocks.
So this is not a short term process. This is very long
term process.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make sure efficient capital utilization. So I'm not putting money to sell call options. I'm using my existing stocks. I've given it to my broker. He's giving me limits.
So your money is working for you now.
Exactly.
Before you work for money, and now your money is working.
So that's what I'm trying to say. So until a certain age, you should work very hard to earn money, and make sure that after a certain age, that money should work for you. So I learned this from
Sarath,
many of
what
my...
is your age if you don't mind?
I'm 40 now.
Okay. So मैंने इनको ये क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछा? Because अभी मार्केट में बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जिनकी एज 20 साल, 21 साल, 25 साल है, और वो बहुत सारे लोगों को देख के उनको ऐसा लगता है कि हम लोगों को फुल टाइम ट्रेडर बन जाना चाहिए, ये बहुत अच्छा है. बट ऐसा नहीं होता है. आज आप देखो ये शरद जी ने ये स्ट्रैटेजी शुरू की है, बट उनकी एज 40 है. उन्होंने अब तक मतलब 4-5 साल पहले तक उन्होंने पैसा कमाया. अब वो अपने पैसे को यूज कर रहे हैं और पैसा बनाने के लिए. तो आपको इस तरीके से करना चाहिए. आपको हमेशा जॉब से ही शुरू करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज आपको स्टॉक मार्केट में अगर इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है, पैसा कमाना है, तो अल्टीमेटली यू नीड मनी टू मेक मोर मनी, राइट. तो ये चीज़ आप लोग ध्यान में रखिए, बिकॉज यही एक पॉइंट था, इसीलिए मैंने ये शरद जी को पूछा. थैंक यू शरद जी, आपने हमारे साथ एक वीडियो बनाया और आपकी इतनी अच्छी नॉलेजेबल चीज़ हमारे साथ शेयर की. मैं इस चीज़ को ज़रूर देखूंगा. ये जो सीरीज़ है ना, इसका फ़ायदा मुझे तो बहुत बड़ा हो रहा है, बिकॉज मैं एक इक्विटी मोमेंटम ट्रेडर हूँ और मैं शरद जी जैसे लोगों को मिलता हूँ, तो मुझे एक नए नए आइडियाज़ मिलते हैं अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट को प्रॉपर यूटिलाइज करने के लिए. अदरवाइज़ क्या होता है, मैं जो भी स्टॉक खरीदता हूँ मेरे पोर्टफोलियो में ऐसे ही पड़े होते हैं. सो एक्चुअली इट्स वेरी गुड. थैंक यू शरद जी. एंड you want to say anything to my audience who want to become full-time trader? Or you can tell me, can anyone become full-time trader?
Before you take this decision, make sure that your essentials are covered, because coming into a full-time trading is not a joke. So you'd be seeing in the markets what's happening in the past few days. Okay, stock can go to from 200 to 4,000, 5,000, and from there the same stock can come down to 1,000 rupees as well. So make sure that your essentials are covered. Make sure that your 4 to 5 years of your monthly expenses are there into your savings or debt instruments. Make sure you are covering your risk. So, for example, I should congratulate or thank Vijayji for making sure this as a learning process. Okay, make sure that you learn before you just jump into and then become a full-time trader. Full-time trader is not a joke. Okay, it needs the data points state that 99% of the people in stock market lose money. So this is one of the toughest field actually. Okay, so make sure that you learn the nuances of the market. Make sure that you understand risk. Make sure that how much is the risk that you are willing to take before you come into trade. So once you are knowing what you are doing and if you are covering your risk, then you can slowly transition into a full-time trader. So there is nothing called as a full-time trader. You can still be into a full-time work and then do it as well. So understand risk and be safe. That's what
yes,
I will
thank you. Thank you very much sir. And आप लोगों को भी थैंक यू हमारा ये वीडियो देखने के लिए. अगर आप लोगों को हमारे ये वीडियो में कुछ भी अच्छा लगा है या नॉलेजेबल चीज़ आप लोगों को मिली है तो ये वीडियो आप अपने फ्रेंड्स और फैमिली के साथ शेयर कर सकते हो. अगर ये वीडियो आपको अच्छा लगा है तो ये वीडियो को लाइक ज़रूर करिए. देखो आप लोगों के लाइक करने से मुझे मोटिवेशन मिलता है आप लोगों के लिए ऐसे वीडियोस बनाने के लिए, तो मेक श्योर आप लाइक ज़रूर करें. अगर आप लोगों को हमारा ये चैनल पसंद आया है, ऐसे ही वीडियोस आप लोगों को देखने हैं तो आप हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब भी कर सकते हो. मैं मिलूंगा आप लोगों से ऐसे ही कोई नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए बाय बाय एंड थैंक यू शरद जी फॉर डूइंग दिस.
Thank you, Vijayji, for spending time and knowing what I was doing. I think I think I added some value for you and your viewers. I wish you best of luck as well.
Thank you.